Pontiac Fiero, North America's only mid-engine, two-passenger production car. One of the 10 best cars of 1984, says Car and Driver magazine. Fiero, fuel-injected, economical, and only from Pontiac. Pontiac builds excitement.
If you want to remove your exhaust system, here is what I've done so far, what I intend to do. If you look back, there is the flange, but it sits up against there. So on the inboard side, there you can see down in there, it's threaded. All right. And that took a 15 millimeter and impact wrench to get out. On the outboard side, that is the end. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. That is the end of a bolt that comes down from the top. What I did was, with a series of extensions and my 1/2 inch socket wrench, I held that end of the bolt. And then from the bottom side, after liberal PB blasting, I had my 3/8 drive socket, and that was able to get that off. So that retaining flange is now loose and ready to go. Next thing to do is to remove the springs that hold the catalytic converter and from their mounts on the cradle. And on the other side, in the back, there are a series of hangers. Here's one here, and it has 10 millimeter bolts holding it to the cradle. Then there is a spring, where is it? Okay, back up in there, and that hanger has 10 millimeter, and then the same thing on the other side. So once those are all out, it should drop straight down, and we will do that. By removing the emergency brake, parking brake cables cable from each end at the calipers without having to remove it from the calipers, I got enough slack to work the assembly through the gap on top of that cable and fished out the assembly. So one of my concerns is that this is clogged. After many years of sitting, there's rust on the underside. I'm going to remove it and replace it. The replacement for this has to go onto that pipe there. So I guess I will just be hacking this off right there, leaving that length of pipe. Looking into the bottom here, that is cut off. So the old catalytic converter, the original one, which weighed a ton and probably partially clogged, came off. And in its place, part of that replacement assembly is that. The end of that is supposed to engage with the end of that, but they're the same size. So Fiero shop, where I bought it, is sending me a coupler. So in the meantime, I went ahead and reinstalled that hanger on the pipe and that hanger up against the body of the car. And then I've also zip tied the parking brake cable out of the way, as opposed to removing it at this point. We'll keep that. This is the test pipe that's part of the catalytic converter replacement. This obviously goes to the exhaust manifold. This would go to the exhaust pipe, But for some reason, and the Fiero store was very kind to help me with this, but for some reason this expansion's not enough to go over the end of the 85 V6 pipe for some reason. Anyway, they sent me, this is the coupling pipe they sent me. This end fits over the exhaust pipe, the one that leads to the muffler. This end is expanded to fit around the smaller stock diameter of this pipe. So I laid it up. The exhaust system is hanging, so I just pushed it up until I found a good corresponding spot with roughly about here to there. Gives me some wiggle room this way, left to right. So we're gonna slice the pipe off there and put it up. That is started up against, that end is started up against the flange of the exhaust manifold, and there we go. That is the coupler there. That is the engagement to the exhaust pipe. So I'm going to tighten all of the, I'm going to tighten this connection at the exhaust manifold. I'm going to tighten and make sure all the hangers are right on the back end here before I put the two clamps in place. That clamp is tight. So once I get that clamp, I can then attach those two springs. With the clamp in place and all joints checked and the engine fully warmed up, this is what it now sounds like.